Hello and welcome to another episode of Tower Duo. My name is Andrew, and with me tonight, once again, is Connor.
Hi guys, I am here again. It would be kind of surprising to have like a guest other than me. I would feel a little bit offended, but
Maybe one day there will be.
oh man, that would be weird. Yeah, I'll just have somebody just stand in for me,
Hmm.
just talk about Pokemon. I don't know.
Maybe,
I don't
maybe in the future we could have a special guest, but not today.
know. So yeah, today, our main focus, like, I don't really know what you would call this, but kind of like the new things that each generation introduces, and we're kind of going to try and look in like the long term. So if it's introduced in this gen, it's going to be carried on in all the other games. But obviously, like, with a lot of the newer games, you can't really. They didn't really do anything that did that. So I don't know, but we're gonna see what we can come up with here.
So what I labeled this category as is features that set precedent. So a
Hmm.
lot of the times, we talk about like U.S. history, like this president was the first to do this. Every president since has also done it. So it's sort of like, and that's a precedent. Um, so that's sort of what we're going based on. It's like that's kind of the same concept, but with Pokemon generations.
Yeah.
So Generation One's a little bit in a weird spot because it's the first generation. So theoretically, everything is a new feature. So we're gonna
Yes.
start off by talking about Generation Two. And what I
Hmm.
have down for that is shinies, eggs, steel, and dark types.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird because like going off like the steel and dark types, like
Mm-hmm.
Gen 2 was like, other than I guess Gen 6, it was the only generation to like add types on.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
that's something Pokemon has been doing like very sparingly.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. They.
back in that day, like you would like see like, oh, they added two new types, so like Gen 3 would probably add types to that game, right?
Right.
But I mean, obviously they're so like integrated into Pokemon nowadays that it's really easy to forget that they ever didn't exist. But
Yeah. It's something that is definitely up in the air right now because they're asking like, are there going to be fairy types in the Gen 4 remakes? There better be. It better be Gen 8 mechanics. There, people are frustrated that it's just going to be like a straight
yeah,
up copy of Gen 4 with like no fairy types and no modern
I still
mechanics.
feel like it's not going to be a copy.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
feel like
still
at the
have
very least it's going to be modern mechanics, right?
Yeah, no,
Um,
for sure it will have modern mechanics.
yeah,
I'm hoping it's not going to have. It's going to have more than just the Pokédex that was in Sinnoh. Like
it better
I
have more
really
than
hope
that.
that you can get at least all the Pokemon you can get in Galar. Like not like catch them, but like
Mm.
transfer them from.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I don't know. That's just what I'm hoping for.
yeah.
But if
All
they
of
don't, do that that would just I would be
yeah.
annoyed.
The thing is, with all of the types that have been added, so that's Steel, Dark, and Fairy,
Hmm.
they've all been added for balance. Trying to reduce the power of whatever's the most OP type at the
Really?
time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in Generation One, it was Psychic, and they were trying to balance things out, and then it turned out that psychic types were still OP, so it didn't really do that much, but they just sort of added more Pokemon into the other types to
Yeah.
just make it more
Honestly, at
diverse.
that point in time, they just needed more moves.
Yeah.
Like, cause like hardly any bug type moves, so you can't really hit any psychic. And then like same
Right.
thing with like ghosts.
Hmm.
So yeah, psychics were just running right,
Yeah. And
which is
and that was the exact thing.
broken.
Was sort of like the limited number of options. People like to talk about back when there were only 151 that things were supposedly better. There's so few options. Like if you want this specific type of Pokemon, you probably have one, maybe two evolutionary lines that are decent. Maybe another one that's like terrible.
Yeah.
Why would you use one that's terrible? Or it's super out of the way. or
Mhm.
the entire type is super out of the way in the case of dragon type. Um,
Yeah, I kind of like that about dragon type though.
yeah,
Like you look at Lance, and it's like, oh my gosh, this
yeah,
guy is so cool. He has all these super strong and rare Pokemon. Like
yeah,
man,
yeah. So then, like over time, as dragon became a more common type and more OP type, it
no, it was OP back in the
yeah,
day,
that that's
but
that's why fairy became necessary to exist.
mm,
And so if they ever add another type, it will probably be super effective against fairy.
yeah, fairies are kind of broken.
Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is like nowadays steel is one of the top types competitively, and
Mm,
that's one of the ones that they added in Gen 2. So
yeah, no, I
maybe
love steel types. Like
yeah.
they're just so defensive. It's
Mm-hmm.
so great just to have so many resistances, and they
Yeah.
nerfed it. Steel used to resist dark and ghost, and it doesn't anymore.
Yeah, steel used to be even more OP.
Yeah, but then they brought fairies in, which was
Mm-hmm.
definitely a up for it.
Mm-hmm. What would be interesting is if they if when they nerfed the steel type they changed it to um iron type because iron is like
I
lower than steel.
yeah,
I don't know.
I see.
But
Just to run
anyhow,
that it got nerfed.
yeah. But the Gen 2 Pokemon battling system was still very far from modern because what was missing is a lot of the features in generations 3 and 4.
Hmm.
Of course, those being double battles, which is the official competitive format,
Yeah,
abilities, which are
although double battles were kind of not very well fleshed out in that game
yeah,
because like, if your Pokemon fainted, like you immediately sent out another one, like in the middle of the turn.
yeah.
But yeah, that's just something that I noticed a while ago when I was playing Ruby. It's
Hmm.
just I like it really caught me off guard.
Yeah.
And they also had held items and abilities,
Yes.
which
Yes.
like abilities add so much personality to each
Hmm.
Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Like
And
so great.
yep, and makes getting like a perfect competitive Pokemon that much harder because now it has to have the right ability.
Yeah. No, but I
Until
love the
until they introduce what is it, the ability patch.
oh yeah. Yeah, ability patch. And man,
Hmm.
like okay, I've been like grinding endless Dynamax adventures and you
Hmm.
get so much Dynite ore off those things. Like I'm getting like I'll make it like well, I'll play with like real people, and a lot of the times they're actually like good at the game, and we get like pretty far. And I'll make like 100 Dynite ore off
Hmm.
one endless thing. Like
Hmm.
it'll last like 2 hours, so
Yeah.
it's a lot of playing. But that's
Hmm.
half an ability patch right there.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I mean, yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like abilities are really cool
Hmm.
because each new Pokemon that they introduce, it's like the that Pokemon's gimmick isn't its typing. Like sometimes it's a signature move, but most of the time it's that Pokemon's ability. It's what
Yeah.
makes each Pokemon special.
Hmm.
And I don't know.
Yeah, unless you're a legendary and you get pressure like all the other legendaries.
oh, I know.
But then
Yeah, the
they're already
legendaries.
legendaries, so they don't need to be even more special, I guess.
Yeah, no. I mean, the legendaries they have their signature moves though.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like they don't really need the ability.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's nice.
Hmm. This is
Especially
also, I
talking
would
about
argue,
like
the generation three is also the generation that I would argue introduced like proper full color the way we think of it. Like
mhm.
there were colors in generation 2, yes, and there were colors in generation 1 if you
Yeah.
but
But like Generation 3 is like the generation you think of
not
when
just
it's like this was
right.
like old Pokemon, but like I don't know. like old but like it looked good Pokemon, you know?
Right. It didn't just have color, it was in color all the
Yeah.
time everywhere. And I think the big reason it seems like like yes, it's old Pokemon, but it's much less primitive, is because
Mhm.
it was the first console jump, and so they did.
And what a big jump it was.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so
It
I
also
actually
introduced the precedent of remaking older games because they made Fire Red and Leaf Green, and
yeah.
that's essentially Gen 3.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
Fire Red and Leaf Green were fun games. Those
yeah.
were the first Pokemon games I ever played, so
Mhm.
got a lot of memories with those.
Mhm.
But anyway, moving on to Generation 4, which I actually just thought of something, and I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Like, Generation 4 was technically the first 3D Pokemon game because the overworld is actually like a 3D environment,
Mhm.
but the characters are sprites.
Yeah.
But everything else is in 3D and it's from a top-down camera.
Yeah. Well, it's an isometric camera.
Yeah.
So from that perspective, it is 3D. However, it is all 2D graphics
Yeah,
that
no, you're
are
right.
that are made to look 3D. I mean,
Mhm.
arguably, even Gen 1 has, like, if you think about, like, the houses and stuff, they aren't completely just, like, flat pictures of houses, right?
Oh,
So,
really?
well,
I'm
no,
pretty
no,
sure
they're
they
not.
are.
Um, I mean, you can't walk behind, like, where the roof is because that's already a tile.
Yeah, no, I know, but like I'm talking like in Generation 4. So you can
Right.
stand on like the left side of a building and then you'll be able to like, see like the side of that building and then like the edge of it and then
Yeah.
it'll go around in a corner and then you can go around view it from the right side of the building and then you'll be able to see like the right side. I don't know.
Yeah, there's
There's
definitely a
yeah.
much better lighting engine.
Hmm.
Much better to
Yeah,
do.
that too.
There's, like,
And
buildings
oh
that have,
wait.
like, shadows.
Hmm. And actually I just remembered something for Gen 2, which is a
Oh,
day and night cycle.
right, yeah. The problem with calling that a precedent is that it went away and then came back. So I don't.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was definitely
And Gen
carried
3's
through
weather.
and so many generations after it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like an all but one type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, moving on to, like, yeah, and like I did mention there, Gen 3 added weather. That was kind of the
Yeah.
point of
Yeah, that's a
Generations
big
story
mechanic.
wise.
Man, Gen
Um,
3 did so many big things.
yeah, yeah, just
Like,
just a ton of stuff. It was
I can
completely
definitely
different.
understand why so many people love Gen 3.
Mhm. Generation 2 also changed it so that it was the special attack defense split. So
Oh,
Generation 1 just had one special
oh,
stat, which is why Alakazam was so powerful in Generation 1. But then in Generation 2, that's when they split it into special attack, special defense.
hmm, interesting. Yeah, but
I'm pretty sure
okay, yeah,
that's
and
Gen 2 and not Gen 3. Um,
mhm. Oh yeah, so like I don't know, probably my point about Gen 4 being 3D,
yeah.
it's kind of faulty logic because it's not
Yeah.
like you can, like see the buildings from like you can't see like the back of buildings or anything
Right.
like that. Like those just don't exist. So I don't know. It could go either way.
Mm.
But other things that Gen 4 did was obviously the physical special split.
Oh, yeah, that was probably the biggest one.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Gen 4 didn't actually introduce that many new things, but it did that, and it also introduced the internet, which,
Mm-hmm.
like, when you play the game today, it literally doesn't matter. But back in the day, that was so huge. Like, the GTS was crazy because you could just go onto this crazy thing called the internet and connect with this other person who lives thousands of miles away from you and actually trade Pokemon with them. And that was so insane back then. Like people like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
You
now we just
you just
assume
didn't
that,
think
oh,
that
yeah,
way.
this game's going to connect to the internet, obviously. The only
Mhm.
thing that doesn't is, like, the most basic of basic things that I mean, even Flash is going up, so I was gonna say like, oh, like a Flash game that you just play by yourself. But Flash isn't even a thing anymore, so that's not even
Yeah,
appropriate.
Rip Flash.
Yeah.
You will be missed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean, there's like one other thing which I was kind of thinking about, which is the Masuda method.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because, like, other than like Dynamax, like raid battles, which you don't really have much control over which shinies you get.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Masuda method is the only way to shiny hunt in Gen 8, which is really weird.
Yeah, I mean, and that's modern. That's modern shiny hunting.
Exactly. And I
Mm-hmm.
definitely think that like, I'm glad that it's there. I just wish
Yeah.
it was something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There were a couple. There were some other things that I thought of for like Gen 3, but I can't think of them anymore.
Okay, well, I
I
mean, if
think it
you
was
think
the
of,
XP share.
oh yeah, the XP share. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it
Yeah.
obviously wasn't the same as it was like later, but
Right.
like having, just being able to gain experience on a Pokemon without having to battle with it
Yes.
was really nice.
Yeah.
Because you didn't just have to switch
Mm-hmm.
train to be able to like level up a Magikarp
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah. People would say, "No, that makes the game too easy." No, it eliminates a lot
No,
of
no,
grinding.
EXP share was perfectly balanced in like from
Mm-hmm.
3 through 5.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it
It
was
was good. A turn
a really great.
offable XP share that is powerful in its limitations
Yeah.
is a very good thing.
hmm Yeah, no. But like the Gen 3 EXP share, for anyone who doesn't know, basically if you got in a battle and say you beat a Pokemon that gives you like 700 EXP. So the Pokemon that actually fought gets 350, and then the Pokemon holding the EXP share gets 350. So there's actually strategy to not giving anyone the EXP share because it's like, no, I need this Pokemon that's battling to get all the experience.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like in later games, it's like, oh, well, might as well turn it on. I mean, there's literally
Yep.
zero downside.
Mm-hmm. And that brings us to having talked about generations 3 and 4 for a while. It's generation 5, which is really, I would say, like Pokemon is no longer new by this point.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, they
it's it's
definitely
well
ran it down.
established,
Mm-hmm.
and I would say that the focus on new features was transitioning from working out the kinks in the battle system and like
Mm-hmm.
fundamentals and stuff, and transitioned more to like this is what we're gonna do to keep old fans interested. And I
Yeah.
think that's what we really see. We see the first region based outside of Japan, all the regions since have been based on places outside of Japan. So
Mm-hmm.
that could just be because they're running out of interesting places in Japan, or it could be because it's more international than ever, and they're just trying to get people from all over the world to be interested in Pokemon.
Yeah, no, it was totally the second one.
Right, right.
No way they ran out of places in Japan. I'm sure they could come up with places
I
for
yeah.
all the gens.
Oh, I could guarantee you that that they could have stuck with places in Japan and still have
Mm.
plenty of things. Um, the other one, and this is maybe one that you had mentioned, is hidden abilities
Mm-hmm.
and reusable TMs.
Yeah. So like I don't know, like you were saying. So Gen 5 really like the focus of all these changes are going to be carried into new Pokemon games kind of started fading with Gen 5, and it kind of turned into like all these gimmicks are going to be just for this game, and it's going to be like, this is going to be the thing that draws people in. So it did a lot of things like rotation battles and triple battles, and those were really cool, but those never made it past Gen 5. But the two things that I thought of that did were renewable TMs, which kind of were a long time coming, but they've finally made an appearance in Gen 5. And then the second one was hidden abilities, which, like, again, I really love abilities, and hidden abilities were a way of giving pretty much obsolete Pokemon, like let's say Pelipper, an actual like a reason to use it in like competitive play. Because now this Pelipper that had like what Rain Dish, well now it gets Drizzle. So now you can have an entire Rain team just because hidden abilities exist, which is really cool.
Yeah, and that's definitely something that's very important. I think also this might have been when sort of the modern competitive
Yeah.
Pokemon format began to exist.
Mm.
Like before, it was definitely a thing, but I think if you look like this might have been be actually Gen 4 is like when there was the first like official like Pokemon World Championships.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I'm
think that
pretty sure
started
you're
in
right about that.
2008. Um, and of course, it like really got going around then,
Mm.
around Generation 5.
Yep,
And I
that's true.
think I think Generation 5 is also the beginning of an unfortunate trend of every generation of Pokemon being very controversial when it comes out. Generation 5, everyone's like, these Pokemon designs are so creative, and then Generation 6, everyone's like, yeah, it's so easy. No
Yeah.
one's gonna play that. Generation 7,
I don't really understand. Like, I wasn't really like I played Gen 4, but then
mm-hmm,
after Gen 4, I kind of fell out of Pokemon for a while.
mm-hmm.
So I wasn't at all connected with it. I don't understand why Gen 5 was so hated. Like, yeah, maybe it had a few kind of weird Pokemon designs, but like literally everything else about it
Mm-hmm.
was so good.
I think it's because it was so different from everything that had come before.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like maybe that's what Gen 5's real legacy is that since then every generation has done its best to feel unique and introduce
Yeah.
mechanics that are specific to that generation and just have its own feel. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, honestly, I think you've got a really good point about that
yeah,
because
yeah,
when I played Black 2, I did
mm,
feel like there was something different about the whole Pokemon thing, but
yeah,
I'm not calling that a bad thing by any
right,
means. I feel like it's really good to like innovate on the formula.
yeah,
But yeah, no, I couldn't agree more.
yeah. Yeah, and just like in terms of like another historical analogy, like we think of each century as separate past a certain point. The
Mhm.
16th century is very different from the 18th century, which is very different from the 20th century. But if you try to extrapolate that logic back in time, the 5th century isn't really all that different from the 11th century, which isn't really all that different from the 10th century.
No,
Things were so sort of like old Pokemon was a certain way, and
yeah,
it was generally like the legacy of Gen 1, just continuing to propagate. And
yeah,
then that sort of wore off, and Gen 5 was like, and now each generation is different.
hmm
And there's
yeah.
going to
And
be a
the thing
reason
with like
for it. And it's
the thing
because it's set in a
adding new
completely different place.
mechanics. Yeah, you know what? Go ahead.
I was going to say, and they're all set vast distances apart, or the regions are all based vast distances apart from each other. Um,
Yeah, they're really trying to make each region like
mhm,
it's really own special thing.
right.
But yeah, what I was gonna say is like the thing with introducing like all these new mechanics is like for each new mechanic that they add, the game gets like more and more complicated. And one of the main draws of Pokemon is that it's a simple game that anyone can pick up. They
Mm-hmm,
really want to, appeal to
mm-hmm,
the young consumer. So they,
right.
like you might like these new mechanics, but they're
Mm-hmm.
kind of shooting themselves in the foot every time they add something new because then, somebody's going to be like, "Oh, I just don't understand this game. I don't want to play it."
And maybe that's why they make it so easy now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they for the longest time they didn't when you enter the battle they didn't used to tell you like it's super effective use this move.
Oh
No,
yeah, I know.
like
I don't.
I don't think you can turn that off.
No, you can't. It's so dumb. It's like I don't even need to learn type matchups anymore. I just literally, oh, it says it's super effective. I guess I'll click this move, and it even tells you if it's super effective.
Yeah.
When you're like when you're about to switch in a Pokemon.
Yeah.
So, like, now,
oh yeah. Even that too. Yeah. You can be beating the game, and it'll still tell you that.
Like, the one thing about that, at least in Generation 8, I don't know about like 6 or 7 or anything.
It was in 7. I don't think it was in 6.
Okay. I'm surprised.
Yeah, you would think that'd be something they would introduce in Generation 6.
Yeah, no, it definitely would be. It doesn't tell you if it's super effective if you don't have that Pokemon in your Pokédex yet. So, like, you have to see it first. You have to see it to know whether or not it's super effective. Yeah, so, like, that kind of matters in, like, the main game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I just thought about something. I don't know if it was 6 or 7 that added this, if you want to transition to that. But when did, like, the whole affection being a main thing come into play?
That started in Generation 6. They wanted a new evolution. They wanted a new evolution method for Sylveon, which has since been depreciated, but and so they created a whole mechanic around that, and based on feeding your Pokemon junk food.
Okay, yeah, so that was, like, I know that obviously, like, Pokemon and Me isn't a thing anymore, right? But, like, definitely the remnants of it have easily carried forth into new generations.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have Tamp now. And also, like, the battles do change a little bit. Like, you know, if your Pokemon has a lot of affection with you, it'll be like, oh, you know, your Pokemon is waiting for your instructions, and then sometimes it'll just land a critical hit wishing to be praised. Or just puff it out so you wouldn't feel sad.
Yeah, more flavor text. And that comes with the fact that, like, the capacities of these cartridges have gotten so much bigger that they can just program in whatever without worrying about running out of space. Whereas if we think about, like, Generation 1, like, when they were done with all the debugging, they deleted the debugging code that left them 300 bytes, not like 300 kilobytes or anything, 300 bytes, and with that, a programmer snuck in Mew. Because that's apparently the amount that it takes for a Pokemon in that.
Gosh.
And there was a bit of it had to be snuck in, because if you did that, then there'd be no overhead, because if something went wrong, then things would go really wrong. The result of that being the glitchiest games in Pokemon.
Wow, that's hilarious.
So, yeah, that's just a little side note. So, yeah, I guess, that really does a good job of talking about, Generation 6. Of course, the big thing being Megas.
Megas are 3D. I'd say 3D is more important.
Well, that really comes down to, like, a thing about, do we care about how the game is played, or do we care about how the game plays?
Yeah.
Because Megas are a huge thing from, like, a battling standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but, like, I feel like being able to Mega Evolve a Pokemon is, like, just about as important as abilities. Well, no, I feel like abilities are more important than that. I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like you can only do that to one Pokemon per battle. So it really doesn't change it up all. Like, it's not anything totally game-changing. Like, it's definitely a cool feature.
And it's
definitely a thing that sells games.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Megas are a little bit overblown when people talk about them.
Well, maybe that's why they got rid of them.
The only game I've played with Megas was Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee.
And Okay, that's really when megas were already on the way out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, no, they like it was just like some random like post game thing. They were like, here's like 3 mega stones. Just like go evolve your starters, I guess. Just have
oh yeah,
fun.
yeah. I actually think that the peak of megas is Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because
Yeah.
yeah, while they stuck around for Generation 7, it wasn't as much of a focused. It wasn't as much of a focus, but then Generation 6 is like that's the generation of megas, despite
Yeah.
sticking on for a little longer, and then RS is the that generation's remakes, so that's when
Yeah.
they like really perfected that formula.
hmm
So we
And
had like
I feel like with the Sinnoh remakes, I feel like they are gonna have megas.
yeah.
But it's if you ask me, it's gonna be pretty much the same as Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Just like Cynthia gets a Mega Garchomp,
Oh.
and you don't get them until post game.
Hmm. That that would be understandable, but a little disappointing. It's like, yeah, they're technically in there, but you don't get them until post game. So
Yeah, no, but
whatever.
with Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, your rival gets Mega Pidgeot in the last battle, and that's the only Mega you ever have to fight against. I'm pretty sure.
I'm also pretty sure. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah, I mean it would be cool if like they gave them to like gym leaders and stuff.
Yeah,
Like
I mean they gave most
honestly,
of the gym leaders Gigantamax, and when do you get access to that?
like okay, hear me out. I feel
Yeah.
like it would be really cool if like everyone could Mega Evolve except you, and you had to wait until the post game. I think that
Justify
would be
that in the
cool.
story. Justify that in the story though. Why
I
do
don't know.
you in
Just don't get a
particular have
Mega
to?
Stone. Like it's not that hard, or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called.
Yeah. The trouble with your thinking is that beating the game is defined as being the best trainer in the region, being the champion. That would imply that literally everyone is an ex champion. Which I feel like you've talked about how many ex champions there are before, so we don't need to go
Yeah,
into that
we
again.
have.
Um,
It's just confusing.
yeah, and then of course, like we talked about with Gen 2, the fairy type was introduced. It was to
Oh yeah, I
nerf
forgot.
the OP dragons. You
Yep,
said, um,
dragons. Even though they're still kind of good.
yeah.
Yeah, Dragon's a cool type.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's kind of goes along with steel. It's just
Yeah.
it resists just a bunch of stuff,
Right.
and it's really because it resists the 3 starter types. It
Mm-hmm.
just resists all of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really think Dragon's a cool type.
Yeah, that's what makes like a dragon type gym so interestingly uniquely difficult, is because your strongest Pokemon is likely to be your starter. You probably can't use your starter because you shouldn't.
Yeah, it's not going to do much damage unless you have like Ice Beam on it or
Yeah.
something. But
Which starters can even learn Ice Beam?
I mean, the water one can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it was more of a refinement than a balance. And giving it to old Pokemon retroactively was definitely the right move when they did that. Now it's like whenever I'm playing like an older Pokemon game, like I have to think about that. Like, is it older than that? Because for a while that was like only in like the newest games, but now it's starting to be like X and Y are starting to be. I'm not gonna say old games, but like medium games, if that makes any sense.
Well,
Like,
not. What do you mean?
um, like, like they've been out for 8 years now. Like they aren't like
Really? Wow. I'm surprised they're that old.
2013.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah. So it's not like in recent memory, and also the console that they were on is not the current console anymore, so that has something to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Um,
obviously not like, old Pokemon games,
right.
but yeah, I don't even know if I'd call Gen 5 an old Pokemon game.
Hmm.
I would say Gen 4
Yeah.
can now be considered old,
Hmm.
especially because they're apparently old enough to be remade.
Yeah. I think that generations. I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3 is old. 4, 5, 6 is middle. 7 and 8 is new. Is the classification that I'm gonna go with. With the reason being, I don't really have a strong reason. Maybe graphics. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I see where you're going with graphics. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would probably say like 1, 2 is like really old,
Mm-hmm.
and then 3, 4 is like old,
Mm-hmm.
and then 5, 6 is medium, 7, 8 is new,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much the same reason as you, just
Yeah.
graphic.
Just graphics. I think what you're looking for is ancient. Gen 1 and 2 would be ancient.
Yep,
Hmm.
I will adopt that.
You heard it here first. Gen 1 and 2 are ancient. Don't play them anymore.
I mean, they're broken games. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, Gen 2 wasn't as broken.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, who am I to say? I've never played them. But
Okay.
at the same time, I don't want to just get sleep stalled by a Gengar or an Alakazam.
Or wrapped.
Yeah, rap. You can't attack and rap. Oh my gosh. Why did they think that was a good idea?
I don't know.
Yeah, but no. Did you know that after you get put to sleep, the turn that you wake up in Gen 1, you can't attack?
Oh yeah. That's so annoying.
Yeah.
You wake up.
And your crit rate is determined by your speed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why?
And other dumb stuff like that. Yeah. We can talk about Gen 7 now, because we haven't actually talked about that yet. Now, that's where things get really interesting, because there's only been one generation after Gen 7, so we don't know if these are just features that are going to sort of die out like Megas, because Megas lasted for 2 generations and then died out.
I really think they're coming back
Potentially died out, we don't know.
Yeah.
And so...
No.
This is really more into speculative territory. What I have down for that is Unconventional Pokemon League. So Generations 7 and 8 set themselves apart by having a Pokemon League that isn't 8 gyms, 4 Elite 4, and a champion. Because that's what it had been up until that point. Obviously, between Generations 7 and 8, there are no positions. Gen 7 having no gym leaders, Gen 8 having no Elite 4, and Champion. Also between them, they also have all of the positions, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And that is up to you.
Mm.
So...
Yeah. I don't know. Other than that, though.
Yeah.
Like, you could say Z moves.
Yeah, but that didn't come back.
I don't see moves ever coming back. Like, that really just... Like, can you imagine a trainer that's not from Alola doing, like, a Z move dance? Because I can't. Like, can you imagine just, like, Dawn? Just...
well, there's the battle tree.
In the battle tree? Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, they had Z moves in that? I mean, I've never...
I think they had them as a possibility. I'm not totally sure now that you question it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is a newer Pokemon game.
Right.
So I feel like that they wouldn't know how to use Z moves.
Yeah.
Knowing what they did with Gen 8 Battle Tower, like no trainers can Dynamax, I don't think they know how to use Z moves.
I would need to look into that. I don't actually know.
Yeah.
And then we move on to Generation 8. which we have no idea what features are gonna stick
Okay,
around.
I've thought about something.
Mm-hmm.
DLC.
DLC? You think DLC is
DLC.
gonna stick around?
Yeah, I think DLC is going to stick
Yeah,
around
yeah, I can see that happening.
because money.
Yeah. Do you see it fully replacing the idea of the upper version,
Hmm.
like like how they had like crystal, emerald, platinum?
Yeah,
I mean
no, and
that
I
that
like.
formula is already sort of dead. It already
Mhm.
sort of died in Generation 5.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
no.
guess
I mean, I don't know. I like the idea that DLC can replace that.
yeah.
At the same time, it kind of scares me because now it's like they don't have to put out a finished game anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, they can
It's like
just yeah, because
it's like,
we
oh
can
well,
speculate
it's
what's
fine
coming in the
because
DLC. Yeah.
DLC.
Yeah. I
Like
think
Sword and Shield had zero post game, but oh,
yeah.
DLC solves that problem. You just
Yeah.
have to pay the $30.
Yeah. Yeah, more
Whereas
post
you
game.
play Ruby, I don't know, that probably has a post game.
I was
That
gonna
could, you know.
doesn't have a time, but I was actually gonna say like you play Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and the post game, which is an entire full region, is free.
Mhm.
Versus now it's just not even a full region, and it's not free. So that's the progression of Pokemon post games.
Ooh. No, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver did post games so right.
Yeah, yeah,
Like they even have the gall to say, you know what? You know they they just added so many things that they didn't need to add.
yeah, yeah.
Like
That was very good.
you buy the game, you
Mm-hmm.
get a free Pokewalker. You
Yeah,
just get it. It doesn't cost extra or anything. There's a whole thing, an entire string of mini games
mm-hmm.
that you can play in the Pokeathlon.
Yeah.
Like that's an entire thing. That's so huge.
You love your mini games, don't you?
I do. No, but it's just like you can tell that there's so much like thought and heart put into them.
Absolutely. Well,
And
yeah,
they
they
didn't
put
need
so much heart into it that it's in one of the titles.
it. True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It's just I like it when game developers go the extra mile.
yes. Well, yeah, who
That
doesn't?
really really makes me happy. Like I
Who's
play
gonna?
like a lot of Super Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And they're
who's gonna be like? I like it when the game developer puts in the bare minimum amount of effort and just gets something out to just so that we can buy it. No one's like that.
yeah, no, nobody is like that. I don't understand why anyone would ever say that. But
Mm-hmm.
like, so I play a lot of Super Smash Bros. Right?
Yeah.
And so I like to play Pikachu a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so a few days ago, I just went through and I just did like a bunch of Pikachu's moves, but I really paid attention and just like saw what he did. And there's just
Mm-hmm.
like you can like take it frame by frame,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just so much charm in like Pikachu's expressiveness. Like it's just so cool. He makes all these different facial expressions. Uh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think moving up to like better CGI has played a big role in that. Like they want to showcase how powerful their $1 million render farm is. So
Yeah.
so they want to just run it all day, all night.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. And like I feel like I'm kind of beating a dead horse here
Yeah.
by saying this, but like Galar just didn't do any of that. Like
No, it really didn't.
there was
It was
just
a very weak entry. I kind of feel like, as sad as it might be, like that Generation 8 is kind of like another soft reboot of Pokemon. Like now going forward, Pokemon is about mm, being the type of games that Generation generally disappointing while trying to do a lot of things simultaneously. I think it's a bit bloated, or maybe it isn't a soft reboot, but maybe it's like ready to be soft rebooted.
yeah.
I think that, or maybe they could wait until Generation 10, Or maybe they could just wait until Generation 9. Maybe Generation 9 could be, because that's going to get to 1,000 Pokemon.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, true. I don't know. Maybe you could call Legends a soft reboot. Just Legends Arceus.
Legends Arceus might be a soft reboot. It might be. Because that's the first game chronologically. That's actually maybe a thought. And it's like, they start doing like all these Legends games that start being set, one set 150 years ago, then 120, then 100, and they're slowly closing in on the present day, and then
they remake Kanto again.
Of course, until you get all the way to the point where they remake Kanto again, you're playing as Professor Oak.
It's perfect.
Pokemon Legend, no. Pokemon Legends Mewtwo. It's not even set that long before the current games.
Oh my gosh, you're playing as Professor Oak and your rival. Who even is your rival?
Agatha.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, that's so perfect.
Yep. Do we want to give him this idea? Do we want to give him the option to remake Kanto again?
Hear me out. All right,
yeah.
Like, the moment we say Kanto remakes, I'm sure the Pokemon Company immediately has their, like, we have their attention. They're like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm sure that they have as many Kanto remakes lined up as has been said on YouTube videos ever. Cumulatively.
Yeah.
They're just going to keep pumping them out. Keep making the region more and more accurate. One day they'll have to just do they'll have to get creative eventually and make like a complete like VR experience, although Nintendo hasn't had a VR headset.
What if they took the Kanto region and they actually added something new? Wouldn't that be cool? I feel like that would be cool.
The Johto region.
Ooh.
Make a... I don't want to say those particular words because they're keeping tabs on that, but a game set in the original region. However, given that the Johto region exists, you start from Pallet Town.
So start from Pallet Town.
But then you go to Johto as the post game. So it's sort of like an inverse Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Since that was so good, just make...
Okay, but actually, wait, I just thought of something.
Yeah?
What if you'd started at Pallet Town, but then, like, you kind of... The main quest took you in both the regions.
Oh, so you just sort of, like, spread out.
Yeah.
You could do, like, and maybe, like, any 8 gyms will qualify you. And then you sail to the Seve Islands, and then you keep sailing all the way to...
Yes, and then you sail to the Hoenn region. And then you can explore the entire Hoenn region.
Just make a game
you
with
can
all
sail to the Sinnoh region. And then you can explore that. And then you can fly over to Unova.
Yeah. Oh, look, an airport was built, and I don't even know where they would put that. And you can fly to Mistralton now.
Oh, yeah, you can fly over to Skyla's gym.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, remember how they kept saying that like in like the Gen 8 rumor cycle that you were gonna be able to like take the train or something to Kalos, and then it never happened. Or not yet.
Oh yeah, DLC. Maybe, I don't know.
If they do another DLC of Galar,
the Kalos DLC.
Oh, yes,
$60.
$60 DLC for a kid 8 years old. Yes. Pokemon Z.
$60 on top of the $30 DLC that already exists.
No. I got the best money making plan for Pokemon.
Was that?
start with the Switch priced game
Mm-hmm.
and make a DLC for like each like different set of Pokemon, like split the Pokemon up into like different groups, so like it's a gradual rollout, and then and make each one of those a DLC just by putting, each route like costs real world money to open the gate to the next route. And then
There we
there's
go.
regular DLC on top of that, which, by the
Ooh.
way, is a subscription service.
Oh wait, okay. I feel like if you watch 50 ads, you can get in without having to pay.
Yeah, 50 back-to-back ads that you can't
Yeah.
skip and auto unmute.
Ooh, there we go. And okay, and each time an ad ends, you have to click the button to play the next one. You can't just walk away.
You can't just walk away, hit the click the button.
Yeah.
And if your console runs out of battery, you start from the beginning.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If your internet connection drops, you start from the beginning.
This is a Pokemon game. How the heck are you supposed to save in between watching ads?
Imagine if they were like in-universe ads, like buy this thing that you can't actually buy because it's a game without that item, but go to this other region, which basically just says buy this other Pokemon game in order to...
Oh my gosh, yes. Go to Hoenn, just do some contests, but it's just an ad. You can't actually.
But it's just an ad to go back in time and buy a Mega Ruby off of Sapphire.
Oh man.
And
Well,
all of which would be subscriptions.
Oh yeah, for sure. And it's one of those subscriptions that, like, once you sign up for it, like, it is really hard to cancel.
Oh
Like,
yeah. We have to go to about, settings, advanced, security. Why is it under security? I don't know.
Yeah, no, and when you hit cancel, it doesn't actually cancel.
Exactly.
So then you get charged for it.
Because
And you have to, like,
costs the price of a brand new game just to unsubscribe. The unsubscribe website gives you malware that you have to pay the Pokemon company to remove. That'd be the worst. That's when you realize, that's when you realize that you're playing Pokemon Legends Meltan, and it's set in 1750, and the guy running it, the guy in charge of all this, is the like great grandfather of Chairman Rose.
Man.
Or something like that.
No, that sounds right.
Yeah, that's about right for an ancestor of Chairman
It's
Rose.
kind of hard to, like, really notice that when you turn around and realize, hey, the Pokemon company is holding my computer hostage.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't even be your computer. It would be like
your
Switch Pro.
Yeah, your
Switch
Switch Pro.
The future.
It's coming soon, guys.
Yeah.
Switch Pro. That's the hardware.
Or they just and they'll get people to get it by delaying the game so many times that by the time it finally comes out, people will just be desperate to play a new Pokemon game.
Yes.
And it will look, and the graphics will be about as good as Minecraft.
No, I mean, I feel like, Route 1 has to look pretty good to get people to, watch the first set of 50.
Each route will be successively worse graphics to get to Route 28, and it's literally outclassed by Red and Blue. It's just a straight line of pixels. That's your route.
Like, you just have to walk forward, and maybe you'll get a random encounter on the way.
And remember, the encounter rate is extremely high, and rappels cost real life money. Pokemon is not pay to win, and in this instance, it wouldn't be pay to win. It'd be pay to grind, or it'd be pay to make progress.
I think we've taken this bit a little bit too
Yeah.
far.
Can you imagine though if Pokemon was pay to win? Like you go to a Pokemon Center and a Mewtwo costs $100 real life.
They're just selling Mewtwo's at the Pokemon Center.
Well, I mean, if they're clones of Mew, I mean, the technology to make them has probably gotten cheaper over the last 20 years, or 25 now, over the last 25 years.
I mean, I guess, but I thought there was only one.
Well, Pokemon can, maybe future Pokemon will just contradict itself even harder. Also, there's some legendaries that there's definitely more than one of.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh, I think we forgot to talk about Kanto. Oh no, we should talk about Kanto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we kind of skipped it, but I mean, I guess there's a few things we could talk about.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
We definitely talked about this.
Yeah.
But glitches are fun.
Yes.
And there were a lot of glitches in Kanto.
Mm-hmm. Every Pokemon game since Kanto has had glitches, so it's clearly a precedent that's very important that has been set.
Like,
Kanto has
glitches are my favorite. If there weren't glitches, I wouldn't have an Arceus in my party in Diamond.
Mm-hmm.
That just is an HM slave essentially, but
yeah,
we'll skim over that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If there weren't glitches, I wouldn't have beat Pokemon Yellow in 2 minutes. Because that's a thing. You can beat it in 0 minutes, but I was lazy and was watching an online tutorial, so I beat it in 2 minutes.
You didn't deposit the escape ropes fast enough? Come on, Andrew.
I had to watch the video while I was doing it, learning how to do it, and then doing it, and also being very cautious to make sure that I did not mess anything up.
Yeah. I know. What's the worst that could happen if you screw something up? You permanently corrupt your game file.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you get it to the point where you can't even erase the save file, that's when you know you've messed up.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's not even when you just save in a soft lock. No, it's just when you can't even boot the game up.
You can't even boot the game up. When inserting it into your powered off console breaks the console. That's when you messed it up.
It just sorts out. Just oh no. Oh no.
Not today.
Yeah. Man, this has been the most this is just the lighthearted tower duo. We're not even talking about actual stuff. We're just having fun.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We can do it. We have to get something out.
You know what? Yeah. I'm sorry if you're just not getting out of anything from this from watching, but I'm having fun recording this, so.
Hello to all 0 of you watching. I know from experience that no one watches this.
I mean, hey,
now that I say that, this is going to be the one that gets 1 view.
If you're watching this, I would like you to leave a comment down in the comment section, and I will respond.
You will respond. It's going on my channel.
My YouTube channel that has 3 videos that I had to post for my school, and then you can just watch all my cringy videos. I have a parody of a song that was in Spanish, and I did it with a couple of my friends in Spanish class.
Well, I know that this comment is going to. I know that this episode is going to get at least 1 view now. And I know that it is going to get at least 2 comments now, one of which is going to be a reply to itself. I am not requiring anyone in particular to watch this video and comment, but I'm just saying.
I mean, hey, you know what, Andrew? I won't respond to you. It has to be a real person. Well, a person other than you.
I didn't say that it was going to be me that was watching this video.
Well... Man,
as long as you don't know the name of my other email, that's fine. Okay, anyhow, the other thing that I want to say that Gen 1 added to gaming, because now we have to think about what Pokemon added to gaming, and not just what what it added over Generation 0.
Yeah,
we could talk about what it added over the beta, but I don't know enough about the beta to actually talk about that. So anyhow, saving the game.
Wait, since when did the Gen 1 beta get leaked?
Oh, it was a while ago. There was going to be like an evolution of Ditto. There was going to be an evolution of Raichu. There was going to be a lot of weird stuff.
Huh.
Yeah. It was a couple of years ago now. Probably almost 5 years ago now.
No, that stuff doesn't sound all that weird.
No.
But anyway, yeah, what were you going to say?
I was going to say saving the game. Because there weren't a lot of games that had save states before this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
yeah, no, that is pretty big.
That's something big that Pokemon added to gaming in general. And that's sort of the legacy of Generation 1, because you've been able to save every Pokemon game.
True, and
since then.
It doesn't autosave, except actually Gen 8 autosave.
Gen 8 does autosave.
Yeah, but it still does. It's not very reliable.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have to save it normally.
You know, another great feature in Generation 1 that's been in every generation since is walking. You know, in Generation 0 and -1, you couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And that made those games very, very difficult.
Best Gen 1 gimmick is easily the game corner. Like, I'm telling you, if it wasn't...
We're sticking to things that haven't been discontinued.
No, but it wouldn't have been discontinued if it weren't for the dumb rating system. It ruined everything.
Yeah, well, it still was discontinued, so so did that.
Man, come on. Pokemon should have just gone E10 just to keep the gaming corner alive.
Just for that.
You know, it can say gambling on the rating thing. As long as the game corner is still around, I'm fine. But no, it's gone now.
So you would have put a game corner in Motostoke.
Oh yeah, easily game corner in Motostoke. Actually, those Sinnoh remakes, what's gonna happen to the game corner? Are they gonna pull Let's Go and just say, yeah, nothing? You can't do anything. Or is it gonna be something cool? Like Heart Gold Soul Silver, who would have guessed it? They did something cool with the game corner when they realized they couldn't promote gambling anymore.
What they should do is just make a completely different sort of thing. Like make just a completely new minigame that takes advantage of
that's what Heart Gold Soul Silver did.
Right. Yeah.
Like they literally just took it upon themselves and said, okay, you know what? We can't include this because of the rating system. So we're just going to make it a minigame.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Heart Gold Soul
You would
Silver
play that.
Like, I just appreciate that game so much.
Yeah. Okay, I think that just about does it for today. Unless you have anything else that you'd like to comment on.
No. I feel like I talked about everything that I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, somehow we just made a list of new features in each game take up an hour and 3 minutes, so we're just so good at being efficient. And with that, I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.
Yep, till then.
Tower Duo.